I'm going to explain the settings within RetroSynth, so I will put the synthesizer back to the default mode. Now when I go down to the settings, it's really important to understand the basic operation of this synthesizer relies heavily on the modulation wheel. Here you see that the modulation wheel has been set to affect the filter cutoff point. So if I'm looking at the filter here, the low pass filter, this filter cutoff point will be opened up according to where the modulation wheel is positioned, provided that I have a setting placed here either above the 0 point or below it. So I need a range for the modulation wheel to affect, and its assignment will be to the filter cutoff by default. You can change that so that the modulation wheel will affect, for example, the low frequency LFO, low frequency oscillator rate, or the vibrato rate, or affect the wave shape, the pulse width that I soon will explain. So again, within the settings folder, it's here that you can make customize performance changes to your RetroSynth by assigning the modulation wheel to affect these parameters here. Also for the velocity, so the harder you strike the key, well, the keyboard measures the velocity, the rate at which the key is struck, which implies how hard the key is struck. That can affect low frequency oscillator rate, vibrato rate, filter cutoff point, aftertouch, depending if your keyboard has such a parameter, meaning after the key has been struck, pressure after the key is held down is referred to as aftertouch. So again, for these parameters here to take effect, then there needs to be a setting above the 0 point, either plus or minus, for that modulation wheel or for velocity to impact the assigned parameter to change. Now within the settings you can add further control parameters by the bottom right controller assignment down here for 4 foot. Well, it's a controller number with foot given to it, but you can change the controller number, the MIDI controller number, to be expression. If you have an expression modulation wheel is common, but if you have an expression pedal, you can assign expression pedal to control another parameter within this synthesizer, or from your digital audio workstation. You could choose volume or any other parameter that's listed as a number and reassign it from your digital audio workstation, or control a keyboard if you have extra sliders or dials. This is extremely powerful, especially for real-time change. So expression would be a common controller number 11 to use to impact some other parameter within the synthesizer itself.